Now we move to a guy who apparently has been drinking himself into this team's latest decision. Matt Moore of HP basketball fame on Twitter, of CBS, Sports NBA Fly, I can't remember what Eye on Basketball, and he's also all over NBC. He's basically everywhere that they talk about basketball. And now I need you to talk us into Gilbert Arenas.
God, where'd I put the bourbon? Okay. All right. Let's pretend for a moment that there's only so much damage he can do.
I don't know.
There's only so much damage that he can do. All right. So the first question is the character issue, right? Everyone's like, oh, well, Gilbert's a nutcase and he plays with guns, so putting him in Memphis is obviously a terrible idea. My first reaction was I wasn't worried about that because there's simply no way that Gilbert is more armed than that locker room. There's just no way that he has more weaponry than Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, and the rest of those guys. And those guys are great NBA players and quality human beings, are forces in their community, but I'm pretty certain that most of them have several weapons registered in their name, and that's fine. Right, that's fine. So I'm just not worried about that.
There's no way they're registered.
Yeah, I mean, on the on-court perspective, I just think that, look, they need a backup point guard that's got some sense of experience because Selby and Pargo are driving Hollins nuts, and he needs a guy that he doesn't have to be terrified about screwing up and making a tremendous turnover in a playoff series, and that's really the concern. And they know that if Gilbert's going to make a mistake, it's going to be a veteran mistake. It's going to be shooting a 35-foot jumper with 18 seconds left on the clock rather than just not being in position or making some sort of egregious foul. If he's going to make a mistake, it's going to be one where at least it's not one that you can really prevent because you're doing everything you can to tell him not to do such things, and he knows not to do such things. If he does them anyway, that's fine, but at least he knows better. If he works in the offense, great. If the shot's there, terrific. They're a terrible three-point shooting team, so it's not like he has to shoot the lights out for them to improve. It's a low-risk maneuver, and I think that's why they took the flyer.
It seems to me like when you were describing this low-risk player who wouldn't mess up, who wouldn't take the bad foul, you were describing Derek Fisher. Are you glad that Arenas is, I guess evaluate the pros and cons of both of those, and do you think that Fisher might have been, I don't know, just evaluate it.
I think you probably need,
I don't want to lead
you probably just need Arenas more, and the only reason I think you need Arenas more is because Fisher can't really run an offense, right? So Gilbert at least can drive to a certain degree. That's how much Fisher is diminished. We're talking about guys that simply shouldn't be on the floor, and I think we all know that. And would Fisher have some great locker room stuff? Yeah, but is he like the type? Is he gonna give great is that kind of vibe gonna go with the rest of their approach, which is like a bunch of psychos that have a really rough background and are proud of it? Is that really I just can't, Derek would get along, and they would because they get along with everybody. They embrace people. Like Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph are buddies, and that's weird in and of itself, but it's true. So it's one where Fisher would probably be a good fit, but I like Arenas' ability to at least dribble and create a little bit, to whatever degree he can, more than Fisher.
Yeah, the details of this Zach Randolph pool cue issue have started to come out. I don't think it's going to affect him this season, but going forward, is it possible that he is getting out for good behavior for road trips? I mean, how does this Zach Randolph thing evolve into him still being a vital member of this organization?
Since Randolph joined, every single day I have waited for the day where the headlines explode. And we thought it was with the Indiana thing, where it looked like he was basically a drug kingpin. But no charges have ever been filed. Knock on wood! So, I think that eventually there will probably be a problem, but I can't predict that. I mean, what if Zach's just gotten older and he's just done?
He almost seems like the Mr. Magoo of felonies. Like he just avoids them. He just narrowly avoids a felony each time.
Yeah, because like there's enough warning signs for you to be concerned, but there's not enough warning signs for you to do anything about it, and that's why it's perfect. That's why he belongs in Memphis. That's Memphis's credo. There's enough warning signs for you to probably be an issue, but there's not enough for us to stop playing you or for you to actually get in trouble.
Yeah.
Welcome to Memphis, Tennessee.
There's not enough evidence to convict. Welcome to Memphis.
Right, exactly. Not enough to convict. No one cares enough to convict. Welcome to Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, that's
right.
pretty much what it comes down to. I mean, yeah.
You wrote a monster piece today about the Lakers' offense and Sessions and Kobe working together. Kind of lay that out for us. Where do you think Sessions helps Kobe the most as a scorer and I guess as a playmaker?
Yeah, he was quoted last night. I think it was either McTen or Kevin Dang talking about Bryant said he allows me to be an actual two guard. I can play two guard now, which is kind of funny because I don't necessarily think anybody was like asking him to run the offense. He was taking the ball and shooting. But I think that because Sessions gets the ball, and Sessions I think is here's what I do like about it. Sessions is brash enough to go ahead and run the offense. Like he's going to basically be like, well, no, man, like I've got a pick and roll with Pau Gasol or Andrew Bynum. Let's see how this goes. You're going to get the ball. Like I think that Sessions is able to, he's brash enough to do that. I think Kobe appreciates that. Like, you know, he screwed up last night and he gave a bad foul and he immediately went over to Bryant and then he turned the ball over on another possession. He just like got too far down the clock and threw a bad pass and Bryant couldn't get a shot off. And immediately as they were going to timeout, like Sessions came up to him and was like, hey, that's my bad. Like it wasn't like apologetic. It was just like, hey, that's me, my bad. And I think Bryant probably appreciates that. So, you know, his ability just to be fast. I mean, that's the big key here, right? Is that it's not like Sessions isn't this all-world point guard. He's just not. He's not this amazing point guard that's going to revolutionize the game, but he is fast enough to be able to run the offense, which is going to create opportunities for Bryant to get one-on-one. The problem isn't Bryant going ISO. It's Bryant trying to go ISO, which isn't actually isolation. It's 1-on-5. When he tries to go 1-on-3, that's where he gets into trouble. He could still knock down a jumper over a guy 1-on-1. It's just when he tries to go 1-on-2 or 3 that they really get in trouble.
Well, he can still knock down the jumper because of the rings. But, you know, is it even like him taking accountability for it, saying, that's my bad, that's my turnover? Like, is that going to make Kobe respect him more? I kind of think Kobe just wants to berate people and show how he is the dominant person. I don't think Kobe respects that. I think Kobe's like, you took that opportunity away from me. I could have yelled at you on TV.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of that, but I think that Bryant's more likely to on the low levels of respect that Bryant gives people. Like here's like Ramon Sessions, all right, and then like here's Lamar Odom just skulking away, and then like somewhere down by my pantalones is like Pau Gasol staring off into the distance wistfully, listening to Morocco music. Like that's kind of where the diagram comes out. I think that Sessions has not a lot of respect. Like Phil Jackson's like here, and Sessions is just like here. It's a low bar with Kobe because he doesn't respect anyone, but it's better than nothing.